Ineos Chlor's Runcorn, United Kingdom plant is located on the edge of the Cheshire Plain. Salt has been extracted from the vast deposits under the plain since Roman times. Ineos extracts this salt by solution mining and breaks the sodium chloride into sodium hydroxide and chlorine, which is used to purify the country's drinking water. The plant also makes oleo from corn oil, as well as polyvinyl chloride for plastic products. These diverse production areas are highly interdependent, and the products are sold to global markets, which are entirely cost-driven.
The site I work on here has about 20 separate plants, and we probably had 20 separate control systems. So there were many issues we had around buying from many different instrumentation suppliers.
To address the challenges of upgrading widely varying control systems and field devices, Ineos turned to Emerson Process Management, which has had a sole supplier alliance with the chemical maker for over 4 years.
The vast majority of the equipment that we require, we can get from Emerson. We've become so confident that the Emerson kit is good quality. It does what it says it's going to do, and it works reliably.
I think also the technical vision Emerson brought of a field-based architecture, now called Plant Web, that was very exciting to us because we saw the opportunity to integrate together the field instrumentation and the DCS systems in a way we'd never been able to do before.
But what about the risk of assigning a sole supplier to a plant that relies on competitive pricing and services for its market position?
My experience from the projects we've done under our Automation Alliance is an output improvement of at least 10% and a corresponding life cycle cost reduction of at least 10%. That's the minimum we've seen on the projects we've done.
Ineos Chlor immediately saw improved performance and cost savings with the implementation of the DeltaV digital automation system, part of the Plant Web architecture from Emerson.
We installed 2 DCS systems, DeltaV systems, on our KLH and ACS plants, and in the subsequent years they saw record OEE, overall equipment effectiveness, from those plants. So I would say a lot of that record OEE performance was due to the DeltaV system.
But state-of-the-art digital automation systems and support was just the beginning. Intelligent field devices from Emerson integrated seamlessly with the automation systems. This enriched field information allows for dramatic maintenance savings and better asset management.
Intelligent instrumentation is good value for money. The field bus option is more value than the heart option, in the fact that you have less installation, less commissioning, fewer wires, etc. With the heart instrumentation, it means we can get secondary and tertiary values off of a Coriolis meter, for example. So we don't have 1 meter instead of 3.
We estimate it costs about £1,500 to pull a valve. If you can save that because you don't need to pull the valve, you start saving quite a bit of money. I can see an awful lot of benefit from the intelligence that you get inside valves these days. So the ability to flow scan a valve before you take it out is very important. On a recent overhaul, we actually ended up only pulling 1 valve as a result of the flow scanning that we did. So 10 valves approximately remained in line in service, and we saved that money.
One of the questions I asked when we started the Automation Alliance was how could I find out how the business was performing at both an overview and a detailed level. And my interest was things such as how many of our loops out there on the factory are on manual right now, what's the variability of the factory at this moment in time. And we've been able to link together our DeltaV systems together with an Aspen IP21 tool, and I can now monitor here from my desk precisely those metrics.
So data is extracted from the DeltaV DCS and put onto a PIM system, Plant Information Management System. That's actually non-Emerson product, but what it enables you to do is go back and look at any moment in time since the system was put in on any tag and find out what went on. And that's an awfully powerful tool.
We haven't used AMS significantly yet from a documentation point of view, but something that we are trying to achieve with AMS with the latest version 6.3 is to have the full capability of the web-based technology. So that would allow anybody from anywhere on the site to look at the diagnostic information that was coming back from any of the instrumentation anywhere on the site. We can even dial in from home, and so you can then check up on any instrument on any plant, which will have tremendous benefits for us.
The alliance with a single supplier also allows Ineos Chlor to save on the number and variety of field devices it stocks and maintains.
We've done a lot of work on spares to try and reduce the amount of spares holding we have. What we're looking at more and more, first of all, when we standardise, we should have fewer spares that we need anyway. Plus, with many of the key spares, we've gone to Emerson and said, can you consign these spares for us? Which effectively means that we only pay for them when we take them off the shelves. So we haven't got the huge capital outlay that we had in the past. Where whenever we bought something, we had to buy a spare as well and just pop the spare on the shelf.
That equipment is sitting in their stores effectively free of charge, and then Ineos will only pay for that equipment as and when it's pulled out from the stores and is put on the site. So it's a good saving for them.
By reducing the number of different combination of spares that we hold, clearly there's a working capital saving, but it also saves design time, and it makes it easier for the guys in the field who've got to maintain the kit, because they can become familiar with one particular item of equipment rather than having to keep switching between different vendors' equivalent pieces of kit.
Standardising on fewer devices does definitely simplify training, because now we can train our technicians and our engineers in a much narrower selection of products rather than everything that they used to be trained on before.
Ineos Chlor's Emerson alliance allows the company to keep its process equipment up to date continually.
Our stance with Emerson now is to keep all of our systems evergreen, both the hardware and the software. This means that the systems that we first put in the 1990s are as up to date today as the latest systems that are going in.
We've kept all our hardware up to date, and we've kept the software up to date as well, so we no longer have these plants where the technology is just getting older and older, because we're actually keeping up to date with it. So it's as good as if you just installed it, except it's better because you don't have to debug it.
Based on our success with Fisher-Rosemount and the Automation Alliance, we've extended now to include other Emerson companies. So all of our electric motors are now supplied by Lois-Amer. The variable speed drives that power those electric motors are supplied by Control Techniques, and we have CSI helping us with our rotating equipment. There are also other Emerson companies who we're talking to about opportunities for them to contribute. So our alliance now is truly Emerson-wide.
Ineos Chlor saw benefits from the services the alliance provided.
Emerson's a company that's very deep in technical ability, so even if the local guy you're talking to doesn't know the answer, there's always somebody deep in the organisation who's probably a world leader or certainly an expert in that particular area who can come up with the answers that you're looking for.
The service departments at Emerson have been very helpful to us since we've completed our phases 1 and 2. Whenever we've had any queries, they've come in fairly quickly, and we've either had problems resolved by the telephone, or they've made site visits and helped us to achieve our goal.
And since the digital automation system's implementation, Ineos Chlor has seen several key performance benefits.
I'm finding DeltaV, it's very easy to work with. It's very flexible, very user-friendly in that respect. To the extreme that in the current project we're doing now, we've got actual plant operators drawing their own graphics with basically a drag and drop environment where they're putting on valves where they want them, putting on tags where they want them, and very minimal engineering input from ourselves.
DeltaV Tune does save us time in that now a tuning of loop will take in the region of half an hour rather than a few hours if we did it manually.
All our DeltaV systems on site are actually connected to our own control LAN, which is a network which then centralises all the historical data for DeltaV. DeltaV provides a standard OPC interface that allows us to do this, which over the years has become more robust and even easier to use. And we've managed to bring any data values that we've required into our PIM system.
For Ineos Chlor, the payoffs from its alliance with Emerson show no sign of abatement.
Yes, I think working with Emerson is good value for money. It makes our decision-making process that much more easier, much more streamlined.
We've worked very well together with Emerson. I think we've developed a very close working relationship, and certainly we don't seem to sort of see a relaxation in effort from the behalf of Emerson just because they know they're going to get the order at the end of the day. People are committed to coming up with the right solution.